Have you ever heard of the band Vulfpeck? Well, they sold out Madison Square Garden without a label, without a manager, and without an advertising budget. How did they do that? So, the old model for making it as a band was you do a few gigs, you come together as a band, you do cover songs, you do a few gigs, people start to like you start to write your own material, then you audition for a label, a studio exec, right? They reject you, you audition again and again and again, and eventually someone likes you. They put a lot of money behind you. They give you enough time to record an album, let's say, maybe just a single. They give you a few gigs, and then if you're good, then they'll put more money behind you, and then you create another album, and so forth, right? And the kind of perils of that is that you're kind of held in the balance. Your whole career depends on if one studio exec likes you or not, right? And this studio exec, right, they might have completely different tastes in music of what you have, right? They might not see the potential that you have, right? But you might actually make music that people really care about and love, right? Now that is not the way Vulfpeck went, right? Vulfpeck took full advantage of this revolution in the connection economy, right? They fully utilized the internet. They bypassed the gatekeeper. So long, gatekeeper, we don't need you. We're not gonna we're not gonna torture ourselves trying to please your one opinion. We're gonna go straight to the fans, right? And so they made full use of the internet. They put their videos, they put their songs up on YouTube and Spotify, and the audience loved it. The audience remarked upon it. The audience had to tell their friends about it. It wasn't a song that they kind of liked. It was a song they were compelled to tell everyone and anyone about it, right? And so that's really the best form of marketing. That you don't need you can have a huge advertising budget and you can spend millions trying to target some people, but if your product isn't remarkable, if it isn't good, if it isn't worth talking about to your friends, it's not going to spread, right? Vulfpeck did their marketing right. They had a remarkable product that spread quickly, and then they grew an online following, right? They had this huge fan base. And now they've got the fan base, what the hell do they need the studio exec for? They don't need him at all. Now they have the power, because once they have the fan base, and the fan base are willing to pay for an album, then a Kickstarter project is easy. Yes, you still have to do Kickstarter because you're going this route. In the traditional route, you would have had to wait for an exec to give you a check, right? You make an album, right? And then the exec would have an influence on your album, and the exec would say what kind of music he wanted or she wanted, and they'd have an input on the album cover and everything. But Vulfpeck, gatekeeper's not there. No studio exec. Vulfpeck have full autonomy, full freedom about what they want to do with their album, because they've connected straight to their audience. They don't need this gatekeeper sticking their nose in. And so with that, it comes a bit of difficulty, right? They have to be maybe a bit more laborsome, a bit more cumbersome in creating an album. You know, they don't have a set studio. They have to do Kickstarter. If they're trying to book a gig, right? It's probably unusual for the venue manager to be talking directly with the band members. You know, it might take a lot of back and forth, right, to be taken seriously, because it's an unusual way of doing things. They're a new group or bucking the trend, going in a different way. So yeah, there are pros and cons. There are trade-offs, right? They get full autonomy, full freedom over the music they want to create, and to some artists, that's unbelievable. That's huge, right? And because it's born out of this audience that find them remarkable, and because they have this huge following, the guy at Madison Square Garden who's booking a gig, all he cares about is it going to sell. He's not going to stop people and say, sorry, can't take you, you don't have a label, you don't have a manager, you don't have an advertising budget. All he cares about is, will this sell tickets, right? And Vulfpeck had such a big online following that they sold out in days. So yeah, fine, we'll take you. Absolutely, right? They don't care. The venue manager doesn't care. All he wants to do is sell tickets, right? And Vulfpeck did that. And in a nutshell, it shows the amazing power for the creative of this connection economy, of what the internet can do for you, of how you can grow your following. It's like that age-old business question. Would you rather have your factory burn down, or would you rather have all your audience suffer from amnesia? Easy question, right? The audience is the big one. And with the internet, there's no restrictions to your audience. They don't. Back in the day, right, when you were growing a following, you were getting your band together in the 70s. Your audience consisted of your local area. It consisted of how far you could gig, right? But when you put your stuff on the internet, you could be connected to anyone who has internet access over the entire world. And Vulfpeck have proved this. So, to sum up, in a nutshell, Vulfpeck proved that you don't need to please some anonymous weird gatekeeper. You can bypass all these gatekeepers and go straight to the audience. That you can make a living out of directly talking to your audience. That you don't have to give up your autonomy and your freedom and what you want to do and what you want to create. You can talk directly to your audience and make a living out of it. Right? It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. You know, you still have to make a remarkable product. Something people will talk about, but it is possible. They've proven the power of the internet for the creative. I hope that helps. Thomas, good luck.